And at that point of time, we decided also that Kickstarter would probably be the right fit for us in terms of how do we want to introduce the product and build our first community.
Because that's not obvious. I mean, in retrospect, it's obvious. But, I mean, how many people on this show have done Kickstarters? It was like Tribe Sports and you and a few others. But, I mean, most people might think, okay, let's go raise a round and let's get the manufacturing and everything. I was wondering you just talk about Kickstarter, because I still don't even know how to explain what Kickstarter is. It's like part marketing, part advertising, part investing, part
pre-sales.
Pre-sales, and it's also like it's a great testament to future investors because you have a community. I mean, it's all these weird things into one.
Indeed, it is, and it really depends on what are you trying to achieve with your Kickstarter campaign. And there is a huge difference between doing a product design project or doing a film or an art project or anything else. Because in a film, the type of supporters you would gather around you, it's going to be a very different community than a community that, that wants the product that you want to create. So the main thing at the beginning is to identify who do you envision coming to your Kickstarter campaign, and how do you build and prepare the campaign in a way that you're going to be able, in a press of a button, to get to all of your audience, the influencers. And for us, the decision to do a Kickstarter was mainly about to show that people care about what we want to create, essentially building our first tribe. And on top of that, showing that there is real interest in the product, that obviously, because it's a product-related project, will drive pre-orders from the Kickstarter. And the money basically serves as working capital. This is money that is not about an investment. You don't take the money and go and start hiring people for that. This is money that you got from backers in order to manufacture the product, to ship them. And in some cases, some projects they don't even do any margin on what they get from Kickstarter, which is fine because that's not the purpose. So for us, it was about building our tribe, telling the story for the first time about what is Kano, what are we trying to do, what is the vision of the company, who are the people that are behind it, and where do we want to go, and hopefully inspire people to come and support us. And the idea was, by asking $100,000 as a funding goal, it was, well, let's build a certain tribe, bigger than 200 people, and let's make another 1,000 units roughly, and show that there is a bigger audience that is interested about what we want to do. And we had a very, very diligent and serious preparation for the Kickstarter campaign of around 30 to 45 days. We had spreadsheets with people that we thought are influencers, with Twitter handles and their emails, and who are the journalists that we think are going to be interested. We got a lot of support from our, the people around Kano, the investors, the advisors that we already had, because at that point of time we had a kind of a small seed round in order to build the initial team, aside of me, Alex, and Sol. And we ended up after 18 hours getting to the funding goal of $100,000 and $500,000 after 4 days, and $1.5 million after 30 days, with almost 14,000 backers from 86 countries. It was just a beautiful moment.
One of their best success stories.
I think we would like to think so. And in terms of numbers, we are the highest, the biggest crowdfunded project that came from the UK, even though we did a US Kickstarter, but we are a UK company. Yeah. We are today, I think, number 5 in product design all time, number 31, I think, all time in Kickstarter out of 500,000. And number 1 in category that is related to learning. So
those numbers are, I mean, it seems like you could go out the next day and raise 20 million just on those numbers, like 86 countries, 13,000. I mean, like,
it's an amazing customer list.
Like you don't even need a business plan or a pitch book. You just need like those three lines and be like, okay.
There's demand here for my product.
There is definitely initial demand. Right. We identify that there is a lot of hunger, from people around the world to what we're potentially trying to build.
But you guys crafted the campaign. You contacted the media early. You got everybody ready around this date. It wasn't just let's just see what happens. And your video feels really homegrown. But I'm sure you thought long and hard about how you wanted to show your product to the world.
It's The Kickstarter happened about 11 months after we started the company. So the messaging, the vision, the kind of the why we do it was already very strong. What was very challenging and crucial to do in order to have a very successful campaign was to connect the pieces. And the video is a great place to do that, but also very challenging. It needs to be, it needs to be short. It needs to be precise. It needs to talk to the audiences that you care about. And one of the amazing things, I don't know the numbers, but one of the great things we've seen is that we had a lot of backers that were first timers on Kickstarter. That was for us a great win.
And that
to
came
be able to drive people to use Kickstarter for the first time.
Right, and that came from your other media contacts. I mean, if that's the first time on Kickstarter, obviously your audience isn't coming from Kickstarter.
We didn't. Our only audience were 200 people that bought the alpha versions. That was our audience.